So are you a golfer who slices the ball, hooks the ball, fades it, draws it, but all you want to do is hit the ball straight, and if not dead straight, just take shape off the ball compared to normal? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you an incredibly simple exercise that you can work through with me to help improve the path your club moves on, the club face at impact, to help you hit the ball straighter than ever. So probably the most common shot in golf is a slice. So right-handed golf for that left to right shape. And you see golfers set up to the golf ball and they look like they're in a good position. And that ball curls from left to right. By no means awful with the 7-iron there, but we can see on TrackMan my club path minus 6.8 degrees, which is nearly 7 degrees out to in, club face 8 degrees open, and the ball carrying 135 yards. Now, obviously, as the clubs get longer and less lofted, that delivery of club would create a much bigger shape. So like I said, the big thing is to understand that the golf ball sets off incredibly close to where the club face points. So it can only point straight at target, right of target or left of target, and then the ball shapes relative to the path. So the club can either be moving left out to in, right from the inside, or straight through the bottom. And I think for a lot of golfers, it becomes incredibly hard because they start thinking about lots of bits of the golf swing. But I want you to understand that we can make the golf swing a very simple movement and help you understand how to control that face and that path much better just by potentially moving something in setup. So I've set 5 balls on the floor there, and the idea being they're showing the arc the golf swing would work on. So because the golf swing is a circle around your body and it's on an angle, it creates that arc through the bottom. So the theory being that if at the bottom that circle's nice and straight and I got that club face pointing straight, the ball will go straight. But the circle could be moving to the left with the club face open, which is the slice, or moving to the right with a closed club face, which would be the draw. So if you were a golfer who swings much more left through impact, by actually coming further back in the arc, in theory, so instead of being the middle ball, if we were to move back into the first ball or the second ball, the club would now be moving much more from the inside. So for example, if I move those out the way and said I'd normally have the ball, that middle ball, but I'm going to move back, so the ball position slightly back of centre, and I'm going to make that normal movement. We can see straight away a very different shape of shot. So all of a sudden my low point's ahead, the path is suddenly 8 degrees from the inside, and my club face there was actually 3 degrees closed, and straight away the ball went further. Now, I'm not promising straight away that you would see path and face change there. So what I would generally see with golfers when I work on this is we see an instant change in path because the ball's just much earlier in the golf swing. But what you'll tend to see is as they catch the ball earlier, that club face will be a little open. So if that was the case, we would then close that club face, have that ball position a little further back than normal, and make the swing. And straight away, if you're somebody who slices the golf ball, we're going to start seeing the ball curve from right to left because the path's from the inside, the club face is closed, and we start seeing a much better golf shot. Now, you might say, I want to really feel exaggerated. And you could miss hit it doing this, but you might go to that very back golf ball. So the ball's way back. So if I'm there and I were to catch the ball now, see that club face is wide open, I'm going to have to close the club face a lot more than normal, make that swing, and all of a sudden, again, we see that little right to left draw, path much more exaggerated, 10 degrees from the inside, club face very close at 7.4 degrees, but a great shot and carrying 160 yards. So definitely if you're a slicer of the golf ball, like we saw there, we don't really want you getting further forward in the arc. We want to be catching the ball earlier on the arc. If, for example, though, you're somebody like me who tends to deliver the club from the inside, maybe what you want to do is instead of having that middle ball, go forward slightly with the ball. So I'm going to be there, make my swing. Now all of a sudden that's not my draw. We can see my club path actually out to win 0.6 degrees. Club face was very, very slightly closed, 2 degrees. And again, carry at 146 yards. Now, a little bit of the opposite of the fader of the golf ball. If I'm catching the ball later on the arc, you can see that club face has got a little bit of time to close. So all I would do is work that out. If I'm here, I'm going to open that club face a little bit, play the ball a little further forward than normal, and make my swing. Now, not the best strike, but we can see a little bit from the inside, club face slightly closed. Now, definitely feels different for me, and I think whichever your tendency is, it will take that little bit of practice. So we're going to get that ball a tiny bit further forward in the arc. I'm going to open that club face a little bit to allow the club face to get back to target, and then make my swing. So we see there, better strike, still a tiny bit from the inside, club face, tiny bit closed, 1.5 degrees and nearly 160 carry. So could I go even further forward in that arc? So out of the 5 balls, could I go almost to the most exaggerated one? So that'd be the middle one, second one, third one. Now obviously if I'm further around the arc even more, I'm gonna have to open that club face even more and make that swing. And there we go. There is a club path 1 degree left, so much, much straighter. Club face now 0.1 degrees to the path, so that's incredibly close to dead straight. And honestly there, I'm not saying my swing's not changing a tiny bit for the ball position, but if you can start understanding what your normal delivery is in the golf swing, and then move the ball to be earlier or later in the arc, straight away that's going to control your path. Now remember, the path's about the shape. Where the ball starts is definitely club face. So if you're going to catch the ball earlier, you're probably going to have to set up with that club face a little bit more closed than normal to allow that to be good. If you're like me and you hit it the other way, you're going to have to open the club. So as the club works round the arc, it's still more square. Now, what if you're one of those people who's always been a little too far forward or a little too far back? Maybe you can just put it in the middle, have that club face nice and square, put a swing on it, and hit a dead straight one. But that's not predominantly my shot. And we can see even though there's not a lot of shape on that, the club's from the inside, club face is slightly closed. So even with that little drill there, I know if I want to shape the ball less, move it forward, open the club face. Guarantee for any of you slicers of the golf ball though, get that ball a little further back in the arc. Get that club face a little bit more closed to begin with. Say goodbye to that slice forever. Start hitting some little right to left shape shots. And if you can go from that slice to a little baby draw, you're definitely going to have to share this with your friends, but maybe only after you've taken the money a few times.